here's your best of 5 layout in your elimination quarterfinals. Starting things off with CTF Bazaar.
CTF Bazaar is where we are going to be starting, as you say, and an opportunity here for both teams to work their way into this series. Now, if I look at this series and I kind of step back from it, my first reactions to the game types I see and the teams, excuse me, we're going to have involved, I look at eUnited and I think the CTF Bazaar and Street Slayer is going to be a pretty solid start for them.
It really is. Recharge Ball, your game number 3, Strongholds live fire as well as that game number 4. We'll have a moment here while these players get ready and loaded into the game to talk about the history here, because we always knew that these two teams were going to be top 4 contenders, and they have been overall, especially in Raleigh. You look at a 3rd place finish for FaZe, as well as a 2nd place for eUnited. But let's not forget, eUnited sent FaZe Clan to the elimination bracket in Anaheim. FaZe would finish top 8. Huge disappointment for them. The question is, which of these two teams will advance here in elimination quarters?
Who will keep this tournament going? It's going to be strange to think that one of eUnited and FaZe Clan will be dropping out of the tournament.
Yes.
It always is a strange thing to say with one of the rosters that you can see in front of us, but you can see the record so far here in Kansas City, and it couldn't really be much closer. Just a couple of points between the two, and I'm talking like decibel points.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and really the only stat they're separated is damage per minute, which is just, like as you say, 0.5. It's such a close match here between these two teams. It is going to be absolutely fantastic to see these duke it out, and it feels like the Spartan versus Snip3down battle as well is just unavoidable, and we're right into the gameplay here, starting things off with Nick.
Let's see what Nick can do then. Let's see if he can continue the kind of form he's showing, because I've been pretty impressed with Nick. I actually sent out a tweet last night after watching eUnited play across Saturday, and I was like, you know who's been really impressing me? It's actually the man we're going to start this game with. Reasons being, it seems like he's found a little bit of a way to pace his game a little bit more. When he came into Halo Infinite, he was known as that kind of, you know, one of those players they call cracked, I think the cool kids, right? He's very aggressive, he likes to slide, loves movement, loves challenging, but now he's found the ability to balance that well. And look at this run already coming in here. They're running it down on the rocket side.
Yeah, Spartan right here, able to pick up another one as well. He will get back to 3 dead. Bound is the last player for FaZe. That flag run will continue, and Rayne will take to the skies. Oh my, and he will take straight to the face of Bound. Great stuff there to clear out the back of the base. Of course, he was the only overextender, and this flag, unsurprisingly, should go home.
Yeah, this one's going to go home, and it's pretty much all the pieces being put together there. The Rockets, they got the initial kills to clear the way on the Rocket Alley, and then after that, you have the ability of the overshielded player just to take that risk by grappling up into the bar to guarantee himself that beatdown battle win. From there, pretty simple job here from eUnited to run that one home. But for FaZe Clan, maybe some questions about the mentality of the team, Andy. You know, they do seem to get down on themselves a little bit sometimes in series, and when you're in the elimination bracket and you go down almost immediately 1 flag in the first game, you got to start to worry.
Absolutely, and I think one key thing to watch here is just how good eUnited is on Bazaar, right? It's a map where you can slow down. We've seen the pushes that RyaNoob calculates here, right? He gets out all his measuring tools. He's able to set up the entire laboratory and put together some unbelievable plays. And when you have a map like Bazaar, it lets eUnited really flex all their muscle.
It certainly does indeed. Let's see if FaZe can work their way back into it. Unfortunately for them at the moment, it seems like it's consistent eUnited pressure across the board. 3 dead here for FaZe Clan. The flag already moving across the bar side of things. Bound is going to be in a very similar position to what we saw him in just a few moments ago. He's up inside of the bar, and it looks like eUnited trying to repeat the dosage.
Absolutely now. Flag coming back through. Bound is in the exact same spot. A little bit of deja vu this time. He will convert 1 and 2. This is what we talk about when we talk about Bound, what he is capable of. He is the overextender as well. Picks up those 2 kills. Now goes bottom middle, going to avoid these dynamos and pick up a 3rd. Bound flying all the way across the map to do the damage.
Done the damage, but the flag is still down. But it looks like Snip3down and Koa are going to be able to move forward, and should, I say should, be able to think about securing it. But the spike grenades, again, something that eUnited prioritize almost as a power weapon here, are going to allow them not just to get the damage down to get the touch, but also to keep that flag moving.
Big kills from Bound and Falcated again. Back-to-back 3 dead, 4 dead for eUnited. FaZe Clan now getting on the re finally. It took them a little while, but they do get the re. That should be a run too, as long as they're playing their cards right. Oh boy, here comes the cavalry.
Tell you what, that grenade could have done so much damage from bubu. Almost a little bit unlucky it got caught in the Spartan armor. If that one bounced off the wall and ricocheted back behind those 2 players, maybe there was an opportunity for a trade at the very least. But eUnited, again, still been on the front foot for the majority of this game. 2 interesting rocket side runs as well.
Yeah, Bound. So far, so good from him. We talk about how he's a high-risk, high-reward player. bubu now bringing this flag in. Should be able to bring up the sandbags and tie this game 1-1. Little slide in. Challenged late, though, from Bar. Could have gotten dicey. bubu going to stay alive in the back of the flag.
It's going to be taken down, though. Even though FaZe Clan do manage to tie the game up at 1-1, now you are going to see a counter-cap opportunity here for eUnited. The question is, where are the respawns and where are the power weapons finding themselves? You can see that Falcated has a rocket launcher. He's picked up 1 kill, however, unfortunately for him, he has fallen at the same time. So RyaNoob's going to have another clear path home here, and I tell you what, eUnited showing us something in this game, Andy. A lot of the time we see those runs bottom middle, looking for that second set of slaves, but eUnited, they've decided that running it through trenches, running it through those sewers is the most efficient way to do it, and so far it's worked twice.
I mean, leaving up to a team like eUnited, right, to find a little bit of a less conventional strategy. That's what this team is so good at.
Yeah, hey? Who would have thought it?
Exactly. This is what these guys do. Like I said, they bring all the pieces into the laboratory, and RyaNoob comes out after about 4 days of time, right? He's got a full beard, the hair's looking crazier than ever, and he says, guys, I figured it out. We're going to run the flag, bottom trenches. It's going to work. We're going to take the lead 2-1. It's going to be fantastic. And guess what? Flags are on the board for them. They lead in this game right now, but a lot of work still to be done, without a doubt.
You wonder where the analogy came from. Me and Andy were kind of thinking about eUnited at the build-up to this tournament. We're like, what's it like when RyaNoob's trying to come up with this kind of stuff? And we're like, you can imagine, like you're saying, it's a laboratory. RyaNoob's the one who's kind of making things explode a little bit, trying to do all the difficult stuff. Spartan is just there kind of throwing stuff around. Rayne's just kind of shaking his head.
The whole time.
Then Nick's just kind of walking around with a broom, just kind of make sure that things are a little bit tidy and things aren't getting too much out of control. But yeah, the nutty professor, the mad professor in RyaNoob certainly come up with something here, and it's been effective.
And thank God for Coach Chig, right? Because Coach Chig, the one that
actually in the health and safety force.
Yeah, exactly. He's the one that makes sure that this thing is still a well-oiled machine as well. But a lot of different personalities on this eUnited team, and it's great to see them finding different forms of success, especially on land this season. As we say that, 3 dead, Bound, last player alive again.
They're going to move forward as well, just to clean up some kills. She's going to leave Bound in a little bit more of a difficult situation, that being the death screen. He's 9-7 at the moment, Bound. Snip3down having a little bit of a slow start, excuse me, here. But once again, Nick just with perfect shots. And he's been such a reliable player so far this weekend.
Absolutely. Now going back on board with Rayne. Bottom middle, a lot of battles over bottom market. Going to hold down here. 20 seconds on this overshield, going to be a key part of the game for sure.
And then you're going to see Rayne take control of the FaZe hut as well, and this is a great position to hold from. Not only are you going to allow your teammates to move across mid-map, to overwatch some of those overextensions and help out with those battles on the Rocket side, but of course, any player that steps out onto the balcony is going to be taking damage as the overshield pops up. So this should be, you would imagine, eUnited being able to pick up an overshield here.
Certainly should be. Also, great shots from Rayne on bubu. They'll pick up a second one. That'll be 2 players down for FaZe, and here come the slides into the flag, straight in, not wasting any time. This will be a flag pull.
Interesting to see where they choose to run this one. It looks like it's recognition of where the numbers are. It looks like it's recognition of where the help is. And also, almost as importantly, recognition of where the overshielded player can help from. On top of that, Spartan's got the overextension covered here with the rocket launcher. So you would imagine if eUnited do not choke this, which is pretty much the only way you will not see this flag go home, they should be able to go up 3-1.
Spartan there maybe should have just waited an extra second just to sit bridge and bait out those tree players. It's a difficult rocket when you have players coming up the tree stairs. Nick should be able to bring this one in, though. Oh, wait.
Bubu! He somehow gets the stop here. The rocket comes in, and what looked like a perfect situation for eUnited.
Oh my God.
Looked a little bit shaky there. They do get that 3rd flag on the board, but you would imagine a counter-cap opportunity should present itself here to FaZe. The flag is already running. Snip3down has picked up that final kill, and now they have Falcated set up where he wants to be. The point man, the anchor for this team, is watching those overextenders.
What a wild series of events there. We don't even have time to break it down because it was just back and forth there. FaZe definitely thought they had to stop, but now they find themselves 3 dead yet again. That flag still sitting on double doors. Looks like last player alive's bottom rockets. The return will come in.
Yeah, slightly surprising there from FaZe Clan that we don't see that counter cap. You don't really get a better opportunity than that. From a fresh 4 dead, 2 players set up on the rocket side for the overextension. Maybe they were a little bit too quick to collapse on those players. Maybe there was a couple of spawns that came in back on the thrust because of the pressure put onto that rocket side of the map, and the angles just weren't being covered by FaZe. A lack of communication, maybe a little of a bit of over-anxious on the decisions being made there to try and cut off those overextenders, but it stays at 3-1 with just over 4 minutes left.
bubu now just hanging around with some dynamos bottom middle. Looking for that overshield. Should pop any moment here. That'll give them an opportunity to snag that. Actually, it'll be Snip3down. That's the one that goes down. Doesn't get it first time, doesn't get it second, third time. The charm,
Ooh.
Not the charm. It's not the charm.
It's not the charm.
That's a blunder there on the side of FaZe Clan without a doubt.
Well, Spartan statistically looking superb in this game. He's at 17-10 at the moment, the main slayer for eUnited. living up to that name and the expectations, I think, of a lot of players and a lot of people watching for him this tournament. Had a little bit of a slow series against Optic by his own standards. Did make some big plays, but it's the consistency you're looking for against a team like Optic, right? I think that was where they just let themselves down in those final moments.
Tick, tick, tick of the Dynamos, and I've actually changed my alarm on my phone to the Dynamo tick, 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 and I've never gotten out of bed, excuse me, faster in the morning than when those Dynamos are ticking. It's really the stuff of nightmares, so just a pro tip there. Oh my, what on earth? That is like fantastic movement coming out of Bound. Doesn't pay off in the end though.
It's like the opposite. They always say, like, don't make your favorite song your alarm in the morning.
Right.
Like, this is the complete opposite of that.
Yeah, exactly, which is what you want to do, and I'm sure a lot of players are all too familiar with the tick, tick, tick of the Dynamos, and eUnited is just starting to play mid-map control.
RyaNoob still has the rocket to play with as well, and like you say, just playing mid-map control. A killing spree here for Ryan. Plus, lovely little bit of vision on that overextension. Nick also has the Bulldog, so you're thinking about weaponry, you're thinking about how tooled up eUnited are looking right now, and it's pretty solid. They're not going to take too many risks here. You can see as well eUnited not really progressing past that balcony unless they have the need to do so. Even here, Spartan picks up the kill. They've got multiple dead, but they're just holding the balcony and pinning all of FaZe Clan back in, and that's due to the fact that they've worked hard enough for this 3-1 lead. They're going to make FaZe Clan have to make plays.
Oh yeah, with that one flag cushion, if it was a one flag game, it'd be different, but a 2 flag cushion is fantastic, and they're playing obnoxious. Look at this is eUnited Halo. This is so obnoxious. They're holding the 50-yard line. They're truly playing in a full parallel line with the middle of the map. And this is such a nuisance to play against.
Yeah, this is almost built to frustrate FaZe, right?
Yeah.
If you're a FaZe player right now, I can't say the exact words, but if you were to abbreviate it as FFS, right? When you're sat in the back of the base, you're thinking, come on, man, like, at least pull the flag. Give us an opportunity to push out and create something. But it's just a wall of eUnited at the moment, just sat up sort of laughing at them. It's almost like, you know, Nelson from The Simpsons just going, ha ha, every single time that they try and get off the spawn.
Yeah, FaZe saying a lot of things that we can't repeat on broadcast again, because we're told we would lose our jobs if we did. It cannot be a lot of joy in the back of that FaZe base, because eUnited, once again, I mean, they are just toying with them, holding that mid-map, and just like that, the clock's ticked down less than 90 seconds in the game.
And they've done it long enough, like you say, for them to be effective. Now there is just over a minute left in the game, about 1 minute and 15 seconds at this point, and FaZe are probably thinking, well, it's going to take us a good minute to get inside the base, even if we get mid-map control, let alone to run it back, and we'll have to do that twice. So eUnited playing the clock perfectly, and I've got to say, we always talk about the strategy of teams. We love talking about what RyaNoob can come up with that's a little bit different to everyone else, and you can already see how eUnited are kind of re-evaluating how they want to play one of the most difficult game types to be successful on, and they are looking like they've come up with something new here.
Spartan also re-evaluating the scoreboard, having 9 kills more than anyone on FaZe. Absolutely fantastic numbers from Spartan. 25 and 13 here. Flag run underway though.
Pressure still on bubu though, and he's going to be taken down. RyaNoob will win that 1v1, and I just want to give another shout out to RyaNoob, not just for the brain, but the brawn.
Look at this.
That he's been showing. And
oh my God.
I did not know that the Bulldog could get stuck on automatic. That's new.
I mean, does that sum up the game or what? You got a player like KingNick just winning that Bulldog battle and just pumping Bulldog shots into the bodies of FaZe players. 10 seconds left.
Game 1 as well. it's game 1.
My God.
I mean, I've got to say as well, I've seen that a couple of times so far this tournament, and doing it in game 1 is always a little bit of a risky ploy, right? Because you haven't won anything yet. It's just one game of Halo. But for now, eUnited deserve the opportunity to do a little bit of bagging and make sure that Bulldog is certainly stuck on automatic, and those shells are going to be hitting the dead body. They go up 1-0, and you have to say that FaZe Clan kind of looked a little bit weak in that game. They looked, flat, I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah, you don't want to see the FaZe Clan being the flat clan here, and that's what it looked like. And I think eUnited holding the halfway line. I got you laughing a little bit there. I saw that.
It's a little.
I mean, eUnited just holding
the mouth went for a second.
I saw it going.
Too much credit.
Just the middle of the map. I mean, it honestly looks like a weird matchmaking game, to be honest. And I hate to say it because the guys on FaZe are so talented. We've known them so long. We know what they're capable of. That was not FaZe's best, and eUnited was, once they got the 2 flag cushion, they just held mid-map in a way that really we haven't even seen in competitive Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I think it reminds me of back in Halo 3 matchmaking, right? You'd be playing a full party of 4, and
like Onslaught flag.
You and the boys go up 4-0 on Onslaught flag. Playing against, you get a little bit lucky with who you're matching against. Yeah. You're outslaying them, and you're like, just going to sit on the box for
And normally, let's use another Halo 3 example. Like normally, if it's pit flag, you'd at least push in the base. Speaking of pop, guess what? Spartan ends the game 23 and 14. RyaNoob also 14 assists to his name, leads the game. On the other side, really not many stats to speak about.
No, not too much to speak about. I mean, even in the assist column there, you know, FaZe just not helping each other, not able to help each other, and it looked extremely simple. I have to say, extremely simple, that game for eUnited. However, Slayer on streets is a very, very different proposition, right? Yes. I think they're going to be forced to move, they're going to be forced to up the pace a little bit, and I think that's what FaZe's problem has been in general. I look at the makeup of this team, and we know how Bound likes to be aggressive, right? We know like how he likes to force the pace. Yeah. That's great. I think they need someone else like him as well, and I'm not trying to throw about, you know, rumors of team changes, etc.
Are you starting team changes?
When I mean, I don't have that power, however, you know I'm getting quoted, is you've got Snip3down and Falcated, very similar play styles, right? Yeah. They like to anchor the team, they like to clean up damage that's already being done, and maybe there's not enough damage being done further up the map for them to be effective. Maybe they need someone to do more damage up the map, to help out Bound, to help out bubu. It's kind of a strange chemistry mix for me on FaZe at the moment that doesn't quite seem to be adding up. It doesn't. Certainly not in that game time. How often do we see Bound in the bar, still doing damage, but as you say, not really the pieces of the puzzle coming together? Interestingly, bubu dubu, continually for the 10th year in a row, a hard name to say. Still tough. Bubu dubu, you know, he's a big damage dealer on this team. He's actually one of the highest damage per minutes in the entire league. You would think that those two together would mesh, but in this series so far, they have not. Slayer Streets, as you say, is going to be our game number 2. And it's going to be a really good one here. We'll have to welcome back in. By the way, shout out to the entire B-Stream crew. Oh, yo, B-Stream production have been holding it down the entire time. Shout out to casters. Seriously. B-Stream production, you guys are awesome. B-Stream crew at home, you got the extra tab open. And we thank you for having this tab open. Maybe you have a whole other monitor. We thank you for checking out the B-Stream all day long. Because to be honest, amazing matches on this stream. And oftentimes you find yourself with even better matches on the B-Stream here because you have so many stacked teams. This series here has been a fantastic one. Street Slayer game number 2. eUnited with a 1-0 lead over FaZe Clan. What can FaZe do? Tough result for them in Anaheim, and they need to bounce back here. You have to think a lot on the line for FaZe. Yeah, and I just wonder how much of a hangover from that first game is going to be here for FaZe Clan, right? eUnited just had the way with them, and the way that they almost obnoxiously played the last 4 or 5 minutes of that game, refusing to let FaZe Clan come off spawn and just holding them back and saying, hey, we've cap flags, we've got money in the back pocket, we're feeling good. It's time for you to do something. Well, maybe the opening of this game is going to tell us a lot about how the rest of the series is going to go. You can see the stats there. It seems like FaZe actually have a pretty good record here on this one, and they need to have a much better performance than we just saw. Yeah, we'll have to see if United can do it again here. Kenya vibes going into game number 2, and we're already out on the driveway. A little pizza grab of the thrust for Falcated, and we are underway. Kenya vibes. I still need to get that t-shirt, by the way. That needs to become an official piece of Halo merchandise. But for now, it's going to be Falcated who is going to trade things out, but it's not trades. It's FaZe Clan going 4 dead again off the rip, and eUnited with a superior opening strategy here. A 4-for-2 trade there. It might have been a pizza thrust grab for Falcated, but in the end, they will fall. And once again, Rayne with the rockets, and where do we find him? Unsurprisingly, around pillars and tires. You hate to say it this early on in the game, but FaZe already looking a little bit disjointed here. You can see pushes being made solo. You can see them being picked off by eUnited players without too much problem, to be honest with you. Another push on the pink street, which is going to be made solo, and there's Nick to finish off the damage, and that's going to be Bound, maybe just trying to push up, maybe trying to get a bit of ground for the rest of his team to move, but he's 0-3 at the moment, not the best start. That's the question. How does FaZe bounce back here? How do they get a little more tight in their movements on this driveway push? Then they're all ending on driveway here. Well, actually, they were. Now there's one player stuck in red room. It's okay. The game is fluid. He's not stuck there forever, and we'll make sure that he's able to get back into the game. Actually, the push works out. I mean, they're out at driveway, right? They did what they needed to do, and they bait and switch long enough. Bound stays alive and needs the support. Right now, he has the pressure coming up as well on a bottom mid-map push. Oh my God! Oh God! Oh God! eUnited. That's what they do. They fly right back at you. They will win that for a 2-for-1 trade. I mean, eUnited is one of the only teams in the league that has pushes that are that tightly coordinated. Another thing that eUnited do that not many other teams do as well is they're not afraid to send 3 bodies into one location. A lot of the time, historically in Halo, you're thinking, this isn't the greatest of plays. I remember watching a few eUnited scrims, and there was 3 players trapped in pipes for them, and RyaNoob just says, no, this is pretty good for us. Yes. This is pretty good for us. So that kind of thing, that kind of outside-of-the-box thinking, once again, evident there from eUnited, but also communication and the immediate response to it. They do have a slender lead for now of around 4 kills, but Bound has the rockets. He's already used 1, but he's got 1 more to play with. Bound's a bit fed up. He's like, I'm going to grab these rockets. I'm going to pick up 2 kills. Eventually gets punished there in the end. It's going to be Rayne who comes in with a Stalker Bulldog. Where else but in tires. He will have 2 teammates fall, so I'm going to have to work back here.
Picks up the thrust though, and now a 5-kill lead is still going to give them a little bit of a comfortable cushion, but another driveway red room push coming in.
Still that cushion though, as you mentioned, it's always been there ever since that opening strategy. And again, it's a solo push from Bound, and that's easy pickings for eUnited. With how well coordinated, how well drilled these guys are at holding the angles of the map and giving the information to each other, Bound's got to slow down a little bit here. Maybe that frustration is starting to creep in, even after game one. Yeah, I think it's a hangover still here for FaZe.
And you have to wonder, how well is that going to work, right? 3 players ultimately in the end there went Cafe. When they were initially driveway, 3 go Cafe, and as we know in Halo Infinite, it's hard to make the flank play work. It's so hard.
Well, one thing they have done is push together for once here, FaZe, and it seems like it's worked out for them. They're down by 3 at this point as they flooded towards that pink street. Bound again, going to be in a horrible situation as he gets clipped by multiple spike grenades. He'll be falling into the death screen once more. There's 7 deaths already in this game for Bound. Not to call him out too much, but you know, early on in the game, 21-17, you're the playmaker for the team. You've got to keep those deaths down a little bit.
Certainly here now on board of the bubu. We talked about the damage that this man can do, and the damage he's done specifically across Raleigh and Anaheim. You might not expect it, but bubu dubu, one of the highest damage per minute out of the entire league. We'll see if they can dig deep here. Pick up the kills they need to get back into this game. Right now, they're down by 5.
Start petition to start calling bubu dubu bubu, by the way, because I think that's actually probably how it's pronounced, if we think about it.
You think so?
Bubu.
No. Hey, come on, bubu.
I think it kind of works.
As we always say, in situations like this, Mark, bubu got a lot to do, boo. Right now, finding himself in the respawn screen, and now a 7-kill deficit. Nick brings the rockets to tires, and you're going to continue to see these 3 weapons really held around this part of the map. Wow, Rockets versus Bulldog there, interesting battle. Going to be traded out, swapped out for just a moment, but this seems awfully similar, Mark, to that flag game, right? It's a big cushion for eUnited. Now they play obnoxious eUnited Slayer, and I mean that in the most complimentary way, right? They're going to do just like that. Nice little bait and switch, great little help, and they are on their jolly way, extending their lead even further.
8 kills is the difference. I mean, you did say it, and you're quite right, and they are probably feeling quite jolly now, quite jovial.
Yes, jovial.
In the way that they're approaching this game with a 2-wave essential cushion with that 8-kill advantage. RyaNoob now going to be pushed by 2. RyaNoob now going to dispose of 2. And I mean, it's simple. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Out eUnited. Oh boy, a little bit of a love tap there from RyaNoob as well. And I tell you what, the play looked similar, right? 2 players sliding into arcade, and we've seen it work for other teams. But you're not going to out RyaNoob, and you're not going to out eUnited. RyaNoob hits a very, very nice instant float somewhere in this venue. Walshy is very excited.
Yeah, his eyebrows raised. The Walshy sense is tingling.
Yes, which is a lot. If you get Dave's eyebrows to raise, that means he is pretty impressed.
It's true. I think the reaction that we got out of him earlier from a statistic, he went, "Oh, okay."
We got him to say, "Wow."
Well, no, it was wow, wasn't it? And
he said, "Wow."
That really means something to everyone, trust me, when Dave says that. But for now, we're back to the game. We're focusing on what's in front of us, and it's a similar story. eUnited up by 11 at this point, and now they've slowed the game down. Now they're playing a little bit more cautious, as RyaNoob is still playing around that arcade. And if you're FaZe here, knowing what just happened a few moments ago, you're kind of thinking, well, what's the play here? eUnited setups just seem so strong.
I'll tell you what, if you're FaZe, you're exhausted in this series. You know what I mean? This is just painful to play against, because it's eUnited with one of the most definitive and specific playstyles in Halo Infinite. They got the rockets for free, no damage. Here you go. I mean, look, it's perfect Halo. They play so slow, so methodical. Might even get a second lead. Look at the thrust. Rayne says easy peasy. Bubu dubu, easy peasy, picks up the dub skis, and now slides across. I mean, honestly, they're making this look so technical, so textbook, and it has to be exhausting for FaZe Clan, because these are the kind of opponents you do not want to play against, because they don't give you an inch at all. Once again, Spartan wins a 1v1 here in arcade, and it's a little bit of a too similar repeat.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a 1v1 as well, and it is, but there's always that eUnited player in the vicinity, right? You saw maybe an extra shot coming over the shoulder. You know the trade is going to be there. Just as the camera panned around there from the death screen, you can see that second body dressed in eUnited colors, always ready to exchange that damage, and that's the difference, right, between the 2 teams. It feels like FaZe are looking for an individual battle, for a 1v1, for an opening, without maybe communicating it, what they're doing, and maybe without having a little bit of help with them. eUnited, unfortunately, it's too easy for them. It's the perfect team for them to play against. They can just pick them apart.
2-for-2 trade there. Not a bad result for FaZe off of that battle alone, but look at the score. It's 41-26. FaZe is going to have to dig deep for miracles here, not just nice trades alongside pillars if they want to win this game.
Should highlight as well, this is eUnited in a game of Slayer, which is, for some reason, for whatever reason it is, just a different kettle of fish to what we see in other teams.
It's because they can do exactly what you're seeing on screen. When there are objectives at play, they have to play the game differently because those objectives will dictate exactly how this plays out. Spartan here with the Bulldog in hand, picks up another kill on top C. You don't want to give eUnited space and time ever. What does a Slayer give them? Both space and time.
15 seconds until the rockets are going to be popping as well. Finally, eUnited seem to go down in a key team fight for the first time in this game, but with those 10 seconds still passing by until the rocket's going to pop, they will be able to all get back onto the map after respawning here at the back of the tram. There's another solo push this time. As you can see, it's on the pink street, and that means with kills going down, a couple of grenades are going to be able to help Rayne. Throws them back towards the teammates, but FaZe are going to be there, but Bound immediately traded out again. eUnited just there for each other, exactly where they need to be, and exactly where they want to be.
Not able to get a rocket off. Big outlier if we take a look here. 4 kills to go for eUnited. Look at the assists on FaZe. Really interesting. You have bubu once again with the damage. He's got 10 assists. The next highest is 2.
Yeah.
Just really not on the same page here.
If you need an indication of what we were talking about, right? Maybe it's chemistry, maybe it's a lack of communication, maybe it's a lack of leadership, whatever it might be. The people on FaZe are not shooting for each other right now, and you can see that reflected in the score. On the other side of things, 7, 10, 3, 7. I mean, it's night and day, the assist column between the two as well as the kills.
Gotta give a lot of credit here, 49 to 40 to eUnited as well. They're making it so difficult, and like we said, obnoxious for FaZe to want to play the way that they do. Only one more kill to go.
One more to go then. Nick's in here with the microwave, and he's thinking about a takeaway dinner. It's going to be the beatdown, and he will send FaZe Clan onto the precipice of being eliminated from the tournament here. They're down by 2 FaZe. eUnited just looking difficult to beat at the moment. Extremely difficult to beat, and being obnoxious in the way that they're approaching things.
That's it. I mean, this is the last team you want to play against that's playing this way, right? This is like when you get into matchmaking, you're looking for a casual night. We got the boys online and ranked, and you are playing against the most try-hard players that are doing the most nerdiest nonsense at every single respawn. I mean, that is what this team is doing, and that's what they're so good at every single time. I mean, for example, look at the way that RyaNoob, once again, with those instas, just held down Arcade. Even when you think you have the push and the numbers coming in, eUnited is just controlling the pace. They're getting early leads. You can't give eUnited the cushions, because then they just sit back and they are holding the map like that.
There's frustration as well in the way that eUnited approach it, right? They get 2 kills, they don't try and collapse. No. They just hold the map. They hold the map. They're that confident in their setups and their angles that they're covering for each other. The FaZe are probably thinking, okay, I'm going to try and stay alive here, I'm going to try and back up, and then just no pressure comes because they're just chipping away, and it's just kind of a game of attrition, isn't it? It's like 2 rocks just being smashed together until finally one of them becomes smooth. They're not worried about how long it takes, it's about the end result, right? And as long as they get that, they're going to be happy. Here are the final stats from that game, 50 to 42, but I've got to be honest with you, it felt a big, like a much bigger difference in that final score than we actually had.
I think that even just speaks more to eUnited, right? It's game management. It only felt like, whatever, a 5 or 7 kill lead the whole time, but eUnited just trade for trade for trade. They play so tight. How many times did you see FaZe push on an eUnited player, get a kill, and not be traded out? It almost never happened on screen. Anytime someone had to push tires, into pillars, into stairs, the kills traded out. And that's because eUnited, in their actual map configuration, they sit tighter than any other team. They do not have these wild flanks, like you say. They do not have the overextenders that try to go into hero mode. They actually sit, in terms of configuration, closer to each other on the map. And that's why this playstyle works so well for them.
It certainly does. I think the best way to kind of sum it up is they're always within arm's reach. It's always within a line of sight's reach, a second of being able to help out a teammate, right? And if you make a flank and you make a wild play, yeah, you can look like a genius. You can completely blow the map open, but if you get taken down, or more importantly, if the team gets flooded on the other side of the map, where are you to help? Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of players maybe have struggled moving from Halo 5 back into Halo Infinite, is the importance of kind of the how close you are, the proximity to your teammates. You have to be at all times. You think on a 3-lane map like Streets, right? I'm going to flank Pick Street where everyone else is pushing. You have to play the middle street. You can't be too far away, otherwise you're going to get singled out.
Opportunity on screen for all you looking at home as well. 3-0 for FaZe on Recharge Ball in the HCS Pro Series online. Pretty good record for them. Also a positive KD, and they out-damage eUnited as well. Maybe a chance for them to bounce back.
Yeah, maybe a chance, and they have to take it. It's as simple as that. At the moment, it's looked like a FaZe, like you called them flat earlier, and they do look flat still. It was you. It's on board.
It was me.
Roll it back, you'll be able to see it. But
they look flat right now, though.
They need someone to step it up for them, right? They need a spark. But who is that player on the team? I look at the personalities. I don't know if they've got that natural kind of leader to just really say, boys, Like, whatever's happened, it's happened. It's time to go right now. Otherwise, we're going home.
Here's the question. They have to find a way to do the hard work. Right now, they're trying to get crafty with the flanks and the early pushes, and they continue to get punished. I think they actually have to see what they can do to go toe-to-toe on these pushes. Yes, you might lose the player. We're taking a look at some stats here for Spartan. At the Kansas City Major so far, he was second overall in KD when we last checked in, and that KD is still sitting really nice at 1.4.
It's looking pretty damn good. That's what it's doing, and he needs to continue to do that for eUnited as well if they want to have that success. He's kind of like the anchor. He's the last stand, so to speak, when other players are making that push. Sometimes if it doesn't go right, Spartan has to be there to clean up that damage. Well, here we go then. Game 3, eUnited versus FaZe Clan. And it's looking like, unless FaZe Clan can find a little bit of composure, maybe a little bit of inspiration here, it could be eUnited closing it out in 3.
Do want to also give a little bit of context. You're seeing Spartan on screen. You just saw that he had 485 damage per minute. We're bringing him some new stats here into the show, thanks to some really hard work from people behind the scenes on the HCS broadcast team at 343 as well. Shout out to both Victor and Taylor. Incredible work over the past few weeks to bring brand new stats to the broadcast. But I do want to highlight, while we have a moment here on the B stream, just talking about Spartan stats, 485 damage per minute. What does that really mean? How does that stack up? Just to give you an idea, that's a pretty high number. Really the only highest numbers you'll see is someone like Renegade, who starts to tap about 580 damage per minute. So 485, it's a good number to feel about.
It's a heck of a number to feel good about. It's as simple as that. And early on here, it seems like eUnited's feel-good factor is still there. The ball is in their hands. Well, excuse me. FaZe Clan have actually managed to steal away with that ball with an early 20 seconds. And it's going to be eUnited finally who seem to be able to slow things down. Spartan has got that shock rifle, so now you can see the ball has been dropped by FaZe. Snip3down going to be last player alive. Does manage to pick up 1 kill onto Spartan, but you would imagine that having given that location away, that eUnited can move quickly here to try and clean him up.
One thing I'm so excited to do after this event is look closer at eUnited gameplay with you, just because, they're such an outlier in the way that they time their pushes, in the way that they wait for each other, and as we talked about earlier, the way that they set up. They feel like they're always in control. Even when they don't have the man advantage, they know exactly what they need to do off of the respawns. They wait for each other, and they do it in such a continuous and consistent way that they make themselves such a difficult opponent.
It's also very interesting to see the positions they play and how they play them as well. eUnited players in battles always position themselves nice and close to walls, looking for those shoulder peaks, almost just being a nuisance even in the fight. And we know how frustrating it can be on Halo Infinite to have to fight against a player who's just shoulder peeking constantly, right? You're like, you can't time the shot quite right. They're going to have the timing on every single shot, even when they're one shot. I mean, we've all been there on this game a couple of times where you feel like you have the battle won, you've done the initial damage.
Oy.
Speaking of damage, there's Rayne, who's going to remove someone's hair, or certainly trim it for a few seconds, but eUnited just seem to be one of those teams. You watch them play, they're always in those positions where they've got an escape route. They're a difficult kill, and Rayne proving that once more.
Very nice rotates from Rayne here, not just with the ball, but also with the show boy. Almost did it to him.
A little bit of showstopper. If you manage to hit that one. Snip3down staying alive for now, but FaZe Clan, maybe this just this start, the 30 seconds, it might not seem much, but it's something. It's the first time they've had anything so far in this season to talk about. And maybe that's all they need, just to get going. We've mentioned how FaZe are kind of like a steam train, right? If they get going, they're very, very difficult to stop. But it's also a bit of a heavy load to push if you've got to get it moving yourself.
Right, you got to get this thing going. And I think we saw their record online in the HCS Pro Series. Maybe this game number 3 is an opportunity for FaZe to bounce back here. Get a little bit more comfortable in the series, put a win on the board, and maybe send this one the distance. I think the steam engine analogy you use is perfect. Just like you say, this team can get so hot, but they're going to need to find it here in this series. This is, of course, do or die for FaZe. Their tournament lives on the line.
First setup we've really had here for eUnited as well, and it's been a very successful one, but there's a play ball coming out from FaZe. It's actually a rotate. It looks like bubu managed to pick up a beatdown, and that's going to be an easy push coming in on the pipes. Almost too easy, to be honest with you. Flooding through pipes is something that usually ends in death for a lot of teams and a lot of players, but it seems like somehow bubu's made it work.
Spartan was last player alive. Time is going to continue to tick for FaZe. Spartan was last player alive, and he's just waiting and baiting with the shock. Oh my God, what a cheeky little play here from FaZe. They play the ball into Whirlpool, but they do not peek, so Spartan does not get the angle he thought he might get on pipes. He also gets challenged from bat ledge. That shot will not connect with the head. So here we stay, 45-23. Spartan still just trying to do what he can with the sword. Has to get rid of this shock. Maybe there's a commando. There it is.
I was about to say, Spartan probably wanting to do more damage, just not going to have the tools to do it with at the moment. There's some shots coming in from that Commando, manager to clean up the kill. And Spartan playing this one really smartly.
Yes.
He's probably thinking he's playing it slow. He's not really getting engaged with where that Oddball is. He's not trying to move that objective, whatever it is. He's laying down so much damage for his team at the moment. When you're down numbers, you have to recognize that. If you can damage, that allows respawners to push. It allows them to clean up the damage. The longer you survive, the more chance your team has of success.
Here is what I'm talking about with eUnited. These past few exchanges have been a perfect example. Spartan, all he's hearing there is just maintain control of control, right? Maintain control of tower and just stay alive. And even though we saw more points on the board, he just stays alive that whole time. They wait to get camo, they wait to get grapple. This is a perfect example of what eUnited does. They know when they don't have to rush. They take their time. They are able to get more time on the board. Now they have control here of back elevator.
Speaking of time, 32 seconds now for eUnited as well. RyaNoob's going to be able to scoot back towards that Oddball as well. Spartan's going to be there to give him a helping hand. However, he's going to have to do some work himself now. It seems like after the work wasn't quite finished, RyaNoob said, I'll do this myself. There's 2 kills for him. It's the final 2 players who were trying to push from FaZe. Another swarm is coming in though as the pipe spawns will happen. And now RyaNoob needs to survive. He needs to wait for teammates to get nice and close. However, it seems like FaZe are going to be aware that he's got that sword. It's going to make him a more difficult kill.
Speaking of, I mean, look at this. By the way, there are players in this game right now that have 3 kills. There are players that have 4 kills. Spartan has 16.
Yep.
He is 16-5 in this game. And anyone who continues to doubt Spartan, you're going to continue to be wrong. This guy just puts up big numbers on championship Sundays and throughout these big tournaments on LAN. Absolutely popping off. More than double the kills of anyone else in the game. Except for Falcated. My bad.
Yeah, except for Falcated. Yeah. bubu's going to be able to move this ball. I want to talk about bubu because I think he's going to be very important here for FaZe in this game type. He's one of the most... we always hear the term underrated, right? But I think he's kind of one of the players who's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. I think he's kind of like... he's a deep thinker when it comes to Halo, and he does things which often people might think are a little bit unorthodox. The routes he takes. You may be expecting him to appear in one place, but it'll take the extra half seconds to reroute and challenge from a different angle. And he just does things very smartly. I think rotations are something with that Oddball that he excels at here.
I mean, look at this example right here, Bound on your screen as well, just doing so great. Stay alive with that camo, had to take his time, and it really, with these 2 teams, yes, they can both play the game very fast, but this has been a very methodical series, more so than we're used to.
Well, for eUnited, they need to start picking things up a little bit here, and that's going to be the pace, because there's only 24 seconds left on the game clock. It is going to stop, of course, because even eUnited have the ball in their hands, and they do seem to have some semblance of a setup, but I think that Nick's going to be desperate to cross here. If he can get across here, and he's going to be able to, with that grapple, this should be more time. This rotation towards C is something we're seeing more and more. Gives you play ball opportunity, but also, if you can clear out tower, and you think the push is coming in from pipes, you can almost flip the spawns completely and move that Oddball towards elevator if you get it perfect.
Grapple might have saved the rotate depending on how this trade goes. Big win for Spartan in the back. Bubu dubu, only player alive for eUnited.
Only problem here for eUnited is dropping the ball is going to be a problem. If they hold on to it though, and it seems like they're going to have the timing to do so,
oh my god,
and they will be able to go into a lead. That is massive from Spartan. Not only the first kill onto Falcated, but he holds off the push. He picks up 2. eUnited into a lead. And if FaZe Clan spirits weren't low enough, throwing away a game like that, a round like that, is going to hurt even more. It's going to be an eUnited win.
Did you see
1 second?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, that is salt on the wound. They just managed the clock there. They win 70-69. Honestly, eUnited probably could have held for like 6 or 7 more seconds and then risked the play ball and had like a really comfortable cushion. But that's the most RyaNoob thing I've ever seen, where you just hold the ball just to win 70-69 and then you drop and shoot there. My God, nice indeed.
Some will call it toxic. Some will call it mental gymnastics.
Some will call it big brain.
I call it funny. Well, for now, eUnited kind of putting FaZe Clan under the pump, not just in game as well, not just mechanically, but also mentally. It's been a very, very tough series for FaZe. You can see what people have been talking about as well, with maybe FaZe Clan don't have the minerals when it comes to those big moments. They're not playing for each other, and for now, it's looking like that might be the case. Snip3down though, maybe he could be the player to fire them back into the series.
As we said, if you're just joining us here, first of all, welcome over to the V-Stream. Great. Hello, great to have you here, hanging out with us on this Championship Sunday. It's been quite a series here on our featured stage between eUnited and FaZe Clan, and these 2 teams, if you didn't hear earlier, with a history. eUnited sending FaZe to the receiving end of a defeat already in Anaheim. It seems like these two are inevitably going to match up against each other. Bound with a very nice kill in pipes, though. And the clock will continue to tick for FaZe. Nice little shot once again. Bound not done yet, but how often do we see Bound alone? And so difficult. Yes, he wins the first 1v1, but it's a tough order to win the second one as well.
I just wonder why he kind of, I think he may have imagined there was a second push coming in. Maybe he got the call that there was, but grappling was a little bit reckless. Maybe just trying to catch the timing on the player. I'm looking for a beatdown, any kind of damage he could. Speaking of beatdowns and damage, RyaNoob is going to be the player who will do even more of that. He'll scoop up the oddball as well. Bound coming off free spawn, immediately put back into it as well. We've just seen him, unfortunately, fall 2 deaths in a row without being able to pick up a kill himself. And even though FaZe, like we said, like we saw in that first round, they get out to a decent start, a solid enough start, 30-odd seconds. It's eUnited with a solid setup here. Plus, they got Spartan with a sword.
Oh boy, Spartan got a call out. He sees one. He's going to go camo first. Love the play. Second one's going to hit, though. Don't worry. He kills Snip3down. That was the priority kill, and he'll get that. Almost maybe could have gotten a double, but for some reason, since Halo 2, oh my God, RyaNoob picking up a very nice play with the shock rifle. But it will be a shock sword combo for Falcated. I was going to finish that sentence, though. Figure I might as well. We've got the time to do it. Sword really hasn't worked 100% of the time since Halo 2, and no matter what Halo we get, that sword is always a bit wonky. In the end, though, he does pick up the kill on the camo. When am I going to fix that thing?
I'm sure you can put it on a list of things to do. Maybe it will get fixed at some point.
No.
No.
I mean, what? Halo 2 releases November 9th, 2004.
Who we think you are?
It's been a long time. This sword's been wonky. Hits there, though.
Works in that circumstance, for sure. But look at the score now. eUnited have managed to get themselves back into a lead. Rayne is going to pick up 1. There's a player who's going to be dipping and diving and sliding on his backside to get around that corner to not only stay alive, but force Spartan to unfortunately fall into that death screen again. FaZe have control of the ball around the elevator. You can see they're set up for now, and there's a shock rifle to play.
FaZe, they can dip, they can dive, but can they contrive? We'll come back here in our third game. Down around in a must-win scenario. It's been a very difficult series for them so far. We haven't seen, oh wow, this is a nice play from Snip3down though. He gets the trade in the end. Goes for a little bit of extra style points as well. My planet needs me. eUnited gets absolutely across the map. We don't know which player's point of view that was with the grapple, but a Captain Planet moment for sure.
That's exactly the speed at which Andy leaves the desk after desperately needing the bathroom for about 8 series in a row. You'll see him scoot across the main stage at that exact speed.
Or when I hear that the pizza has arrived.
That's true.
I did just eat an entire pizza, and I got there very quickly.
Sure.
Dealing now with the stomach pain. Nice shot here. Spartan noob.
A headache in the same way that Bound has, because that one looked like it was really, really painful. And Rayne has the ball in his hand.
52-44 now. eUnited back in the lead in this round, and it looks all too similar to our last round. And to be honest, so interesting, Mark, to see how this game is going. My God, RyaNoob with another double kill. You give RyaNoob one grenade, it's trouble, because most of the time he gets a double kill, and he does that again, they will continue scoring.
I mean, if you reassign some of the letters maybe in RyaNoob Nerd, you kind of get RyaNade, right? So it's it kind of works. It kind of works. It's close enough. And we're just seeing an example of it there. 59-49 the score here. FaZe trying to answer back though, with Falcated picking up 1, Snip3down with another. eUnited find themselves 3 dead here, and FaZe have a setup.
What does Rayne do here? Last player alive. And looks like, look, he waits, right? A lot of teams are going to send a player to top attic right away to try to get early damage. He waits, waiting for the long haul push. Knows there's a player top A, going to poke on shock. Knows as well right away that he has to be careful for this left angle. Now his team is pushing. Now he's going. Great work from our observers here on this station just to see this from Rayne's POV, because you can see just how disciplined eUnited is when they make these pushes together.
At the same time though, FaZe have read everything that's happened so far, and even though Rayne is alive, they were able to flush out the other players who kind of moved maybe across the turbine area, maybe tried to flood in, as Rayne was going to be that back player who was going to be providing the support, so to speak. For Falcated though, it's back into elevator. And only 15 points needed here for FaZe to tie this one up. So even though FaZe have looked a little bit jaded so far in this series, it looks like they found some life at last.
Look at the stats as well. You got Bound 9-8, Falcated 11-7 with tons of ball time as well. And really even across the board here in terms of kills. FaZe starting to look much better.
Playing tighter as well. Look at the proximity of players. Unfortunately, things are going to be slowed down a little bit as Nick will pick up 2, and it will be a triple answer back coming in from Bound. Not only that, he makes it an overkill.
Now.
So Bound gets the ball in his hand, and we were wondering, where's the spark for eUnited? Bound's just provided it.
There it is here. FaZe able to pick it up another one. Bound cannot be stopped in the back. 98, 99, 100. We got a tie game in your game 3 Oddball. FaZe not going down without a fight.
I've been waiting for quite some time for a moment like that. FaZe, been slow, been sluggish, but as I mentioned, Bound may be the guy. Maybe he is that guy, pal. With that overkill, he just closes things out. He stops that calculated push that came in from eUnited, and you wonder, maybe FaZe is starting to read a few of these things.
Yeah, I just say, is that the spark that FaZe needed to get back into this series? Going to be very happy to still be alive. Only really a few moments away from losing not just the round, not just the game, but their entire tournament. But they'll need to do it again. No room for error here.
eUnited have the ball in their hands, though. You can see the Spartan is going to be able to hold down, the pipes. With that shock rifle as well. RyaNoob will fall, but not in close proximity to where that ball carrier is going to be. Now you're going to look for Spartan to clear some space. That's one way of doing it, just by absolutely dumping on Snip3down as he flushes himself down the pipes. For now, it's going to be another shot. Goodness gracious. Spartan.
Oh, he even went for it. Went for a little ninja there on mid-bridge. Nothing like a Sunday late afternoon ninja on mid-bridge. Goes for it. Does not hit, but still means eUnited with a lot of points on the board here. 20 off of your opening rush, but such a Slayer-heavy game between these two in terms of oddball holding.
I mean, that's the difference, right? If Spartan doesn't get those 2 kills, doesn't pull off that ridiculous little brace we've seen him put together, then FaZe probably have a setup here. And recognizing that he had to make a play just to clear some space, not just for a play ball, but also, as RyaNoob just moves in and gets the most simple triple kill of his life, but also it means that FaZe have to work again to get that hands on that oddball. I mean, eUnited's starting to answer back themselves. Maybe they were a little bit disappointed for how that second round ended.
RyaNoob with absurd nades. I don't even know where he went to get the kill on the player that was going whirlpool the pipes, but evaporates him off of the screen before his teammates even had to fight him. Now RyaNoob's all the way swinging back over to pipes. This guy's all the, oh my God, I thought we saw a ninja coming in. Spartan narrowly dodges away from that, stays alive. Eventually he will fall though. 32 points on the board for eUnited. Pressure is on for FaZe.
First time we've seen FaZe with a ball hold as well. Rayne playing kind of role we saw from Spartan a few moments ago, right? Just anchoring down this tower, even though he knows that FaZe Clan have got control and FaZe Clan are holding things down. Damage is the most important thing here. Allow another teammate to move up. Nick capitalizes on the damage. He also has the camouflage. He's going to be able to jump up and get a back smack. 2 dead per side, make that 3 for FaZe Clan. And it looks like not only is he going to be able to get the camo and that back smack, he's going to toss the ball up to a teammate too.
That really is the new wave. That is the new meta. And Nick might even stay alive here, which is great, but and he does get taken down. You want to not cross that way into bat ledge. You expose yourself a little bit too long. Trade's going to go down there. In control over the sword. RyaNoob is the one that comes away out of the 2v1 with the sword in hand. But you want to toss that ball into bat ledge as much as you can. FaZe will continue scoring. Tie the game up. It's a great 30-point run for FaZe.
Certainly is, and now they're going to take the lead as well. They tie things up. It's 34 points on the board now. RyaNoob is playing a little bit of kiss chase. The only difference is no kisses, just swords. He's not going to have to use them this time, though. His teammate will be there to do some damage. Snip3down, last player alive. Ball is down around that blue box as well. Rayne picks up the kill onto Snip3down, so that'll be a solid looking setup now for eUnited. Not only can RyaNoob use his shock rifle to get info and slow things down, he's also got the sword if anyone wants to get up and close and personal.
Lead change once again. eUnited will take the lead off the back of a very impressive 30-point run from FaZe, but FaZe knows they do not have a lot of time on their side. Less than 3 minutes in the game, and it's already more continued points, 20 unanswered for eUnited.
Plus they've got that ball back at Turbine. Excuse me.
Just sitting in the back. Just sitting in the back of the base. Things all easy here.
Wonderful thing about this as well is when you're holding that ball, just the steam that comes off just heats the hands.
It does.
Nicely.
Also really good for the skin.
One thing that's not good for FaZe right now is how comfortable it's going to be for them to play ball here. United, the ball is thrown off the map, and this is a considerable lead. We haven't seen too many comebacks of this kind of proportion in the game, especially when you're allowing RyaNoob to get power-ups. He's elusive enough when he hasn't got a camouflage, but if you can't get that first shot on him and that first sighting on him, he's even more difficult to kill.
Oh my, finally gets taken down there. They had to work hard for it though, but well prioritized by the side of FaZe. You do not want, as you said, RyaNoob running around anywhere, but especially not with the camo. Nick will fall after trying to go fancy in Whirlpool with the shock sword. Now just carnage here, bottom batteries, 3 dead for eUnited.
Rayne going to be last player alive. Bound just looking to do some damage. There's going to be a grapple ability. There's a little bit of a throw. I'm not sure quite what happened there.
You know what could have happened? There could have been a grapple that began, and I think Snip3down wouldn't have been Snip3down there. It might have been actually Nick dying as the grapple grabbed the ball, so the Spartan's death animation would have whipped the ball the other direction. Pretty rare to see that, though.
Yeah, extremely rare, and was kind of left us in a playable situation. And for FaZe, a little bit frustrating maybe, considering they just picked up a couple of kills, maybe expected to be able to grab that ball and rack up a little bit of time. But if you wanted to maybe sum up the series for them so far, it has been one built on frustration. 71-35 the score for now. Who we're going to have to back up. Here's the squad.
Again,
this is what we're talking about. This is what we are talking about. Not afraid to send not just one, not just two, but three players in one direction.
Alley-oop to Rayne up in the bat ledge. He's even going to smack this bat ledge a little bit. This man is in charge. He's in control. And he's feeling slap happy because they're doing well. Nick's going to just wait and bait top tower. Very few teams are pushing the way that eUnited does. Great grenades. Nick stays alive somehow. They flush him out. They get 2 kills here. FaZe only 15 points away from elimination.
Extremely nervy moments here if you're a FaZe fan. Knowing that you haven't got much time to play with, knowing that eUnited are quite happy just to play Slayer at this point as well. They're not worrying about the objective. They've done the hard work as far as them getting themselves the points advantage. With only around 60 seconds left, it's kind of now or never. Falcated will find one, but bubu picking up another is going to create the opening. They do get the ball in the hands of Snip3down too, so Falcated already putting pressure on. Bound's going to be joining him. There's a chance here for FaZe with this setup, but Rayne's going to slow things down for just a second, takes down Snip3down, and now puts Falcated under pressure too.
Yeah, what effort is going to be required here for them to bring this back? Certainly possible. Like we said, FaZe still one of the best teams to ever do it. The question is, can they do it with the pressure? It looks like so far eUnited continues to hold forward.
Rayne putting more damage down as well into the player in pipes, and I think that was a really good example, just watching that from the point of view from Falcated, right? eUnited, all players fell at one point during that hold, and Falcated never knew where the information was, never knew where he had to look, never knew where he had to move that oddball. And I think that's just synonymous of what we've seen so far from FaZe. Bubu now, maybe he can be the man who can spark them into life, a little bit like Bound did in those last few moments, but it's desperation again.
Oh man,
just desperation.
Tries to rotate 3 dead. Bound, your last player alive, but he actually has a good angle here in pipes, but he's going to force batteries and whirlpool, but actually predicts the play ball. Not over yet, 10 seconds though. They have to get their hands on the ball right now.
Don't know if they're going to be able to do this. You can see that eUnited is still alive. Bubu does touch the ball, but he's going to be traded out. Where is the rest of FaZe? Snip3down is there. But Snip3down is no shields, and RyaNoob's going to be challenging. He'll pick up the final kill. There's not too much to be happy about if you're a FaZe fan from that series, but for eUnited, they played that one so well, and it almost felt like they just had the FaZe playbook, and they had it open in front of them. RyaNoob was going, recharge oddball, do the opposite of what they're doing. Did
that one, no problem there. And once again, it's a little bit too clinical from eUnited, but that's what they do best. And whether you like the play style or you don't like it, it doesn't matter because it results in victories for eUnited. They have a lot to be proud of in that series, and they're playing like a team that's not making mistakes. We didn't see a great main stage result for them earlier today, again, that first series against Optic, but when they are in control, my God, are they ever in control. Here's your series layout.
You can see it was 3-1 at CTF Bazaar. It was a very interesting game as well, with the way that eUnited actually ran that. If you're kind of a hardcore Halo fan, you want to go back and watch that, I would suggest to do so. A couple of rocket side runs, and also just an almost obnoxious spawn trap that they set up towards the end of the game, just to really frustrate FaZe Clan and not let them out of the base. From there, we saw 50-42 Slayer Streets. That was eUnited just being able to pick off FaZe Clan members and being able to just capitalize on the maybe the overextension, maybe a little bit of over-aggression coming out of a few players. And then we just saw Oddball Recharge. eUnited really in control for the majority of it. It took an overkill from Bound to get FaZe Clan even one round on the board just to close that one out. So eUnited will continue on here in KC. For FaZe Clan, though, unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the road.